Portimao, Portugal, less than 10 miles to a drive on roads at the Algarve International Circuit. You are aware of the laughter circulating within the cockpit with the 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS can be as valid a verdict about the new turbo because empirical box or drag strip data gives you. It commences with a little smile throughout the triple-digit procedure for a braking zone, gestates into giggles while you fly around a lengthy, constant radius right-hander fast enough to bend your neck like licorice. Last but not least breaks into full-on snorts as being the car comes off of the corner and accelerates into oblivion for approximately the 23rd amount of time in the past 3 minutes. Holy blanking Lucifer. We said, okay, let's make your vehicle with 666 horsepower, so that's the number on the beast, understanding that was how you began for the project almost 36 months ago. Porsche GT boss Andreas Reuninger said appropriately earlier inside the day, a grin of his personal spread across his face. The comment was the cutesy sort that elicits chuckles. There is however a stark difference between exploring the GT2 RS's impressive assortment of performance hardware and statistics and imagining you are aware how it will feel and drive, and actually experiencing and enjoying the sum of the parts when let away from the leash here from the Portuguese wild. In terms on the engineering formula to the quickest, fastest series production 911 ever sold, Reuninger's triple-pronged brief to his team was straightforward: deliver a lighter-weight design, depth-charge explosive power, and maybe most importantly, and certainly most appreciated because of the hands and feet to blame for manipulating the wheel and dancing within the pedals, a higher-level drivability to hold the decades-old Widowmaker nickname for early 930s from attaching itself for the latest resurrection in the rear-drive 911 turbo. To bring the normal 2018 911 GT2 RS's weight in at its official 3,241 pounds, Porsche, after binning the off-the-shelf 911 turbo's all-wheel driver and rear seats, certainly installs carbon fiber wheel arch vents, hood, mirror covers, front fenders, and rear fender air intakes plus crafts part on the rear fascia through the same material. The standard RS incorporates titanium mufflers and exhaust plus a magnesium roof, but opt to the $31,000 Weissach package so you get a carbon fiber panel above your face. Other standard weight-saving measures such as a front fascia produced from lighter polyurethane, whilst the front and rear windows are produced from Gorilla Glass, a remedy Porsche says is exclusive and offers the identical weight as equivalent panels created from polycarbonate. And in the event you disassemble the lining, you can find little to no sound-deadening material throughout. As could be the manufacturer's tradition for lighter-weight versions of that cars, nylon loops replace interior door handles, along with the hardest of hardcore customers can choose to delete the air conditioning system, don't get it done, plus the in-dash screen, stereo unit, Rogue's option only being released until US law mandates new cars created May 2018 onward incorporate a backup camera, which in Porsche's case necessitates the video/stereo/communication screen. Choose the £40 lighter Weissach package introduced originally with the 918 Spider, and in addition to your carbon fiber roof, your automobile will come designed with carbon fiber back and front anti-roll bars, carbon tie rod end links, carbon shift paddles, and magnesium BBS wheels, 24 total pounds less unsprung weight. If you're a European buyer, Porsche swaps the steel interior roll cage to get a titanium version. US regulations mean American market cars are cageless. Sounds great, you say, but how about that devil associated with an engine? It's based within the 3.8-litre unit used within the 911 Turbo S but gets larger turbochargers, with Porsche's variable turbine geometry, able to providing around 22.5 pounds per square inch of boost. The crankcase features different machining, the leading bearings can be a new design, the forged pistons are stronger and have a new dome geometry, the exhaust manifolds boast diameters increased by 30% per cylinder, and also the compression ratio decreases from 9.5 to 1 inside Turbo S to 9.0:1. Output exceeds the first 666 horsepower target, with power peaking at 700 horsepower at 7,000 revolutions per minute, while torque reaches 553 pounds-to-feet between 2,500 and 4,500 revolutions per minute. The final, monster numbers were not surprising to Reuninger. I needed to have a 7 when in front of that horsepower figure, always, he states. But the initial target is always 36 months ahead of schedule of production. You would like to harass the engine guys an excessive amount with targets they believe they can't offer you, they can't fulfill. At the end in the day, they always can. I know that, however they don't. So. Right? Right. Rugged. With a power-to-weight ratio of 4.63 pounds per horsepower, Porsche's official, often conservative acceleration numbers the RS will bang from 0 to 60 miles per hour by 50%. 7 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.8, and 0 to 124 in 8.3. The quarter-mile passes in 10.5 seconds, all the way to an electronically limited top speed of 211 miles per hour without the limiter. Something about saving the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Top speed can be about 221 miles per hour. The initial swallow from the GT2 RS formula comes for the 2.9-mile, 15-turn Algarve road course, the tarmac ocean of surf within the form of significant elevation changes and blind corner approaches. Never having driven this circuit previously, the concept of riding the primary waves inside a 700 horsepower turbocharged rear drive 911 really should be an intimidating notion. Surprisingly, though, the Stentorian powertrain will not be what stands apart immediately. As you expect from modern Porsches, the stopping efficiency provided from the carbon ceramic brakes, 16.1 inches in the front, 15.3 from the rear, is astounding and consistent, yanking the vehicle down from 175 miles per hour within the front instantly to about 65 miles per hour into turn 1 with exceptional stability and zero drama. And while we earlier within the day gulped above the spec chart's power and raw speed numbers, we perhaps underappreciated the GT2 RS's aerodynamic and suspension tuning figures. Compared towards the 911 GT3 RS which the GT2 shares wheel carriers and multi-piece control arms, the leading spring rate increases by in excess of 100%, with enterol bar stiffness dialed back by about 50% to compensate, a setup Reuninger likens to some 911 Cup race car. The rear spring minute rates are up by 30%, nevertheless the enterol bar rate remains as similar as from the GT3 RS due to your GT2's heavier engine. For the very first time using a production Porsche, bushings and joints previously consists of rubber are now from the steel ball joint variety, stiffening the suspension and sharpening the chassis responses. Serious track drivers may benefit from adjustable toe, camber, caster, enterol bars, and ride height settings. As to the aerodynamics, manipulated in part from the oversized and adjustable carbon fiber rear wing together with a tunable front splitter. At 211 miles per hour the vehicle benefits from about 750 pounds of total downforce. Dialed a wing approximately its maximum angle of attack, and also the figure, Porsche says, rises to almost 1,000 pounds. All of the is readily apparent around the track, the spot that the GT2 RS demonstrates an excellent but obviously 911 style balance, perhaps in addition than other contemporary 911s. The rear end will get out if you lift abruptly or trail over throttle enough to unload it, but you'll ought to drive within a reasonably hum-fisted manner before you'll describe it as being snappy, at least on the pace we had arrived comfortable maintaining. We'll ought to put an expert driver within an RS to have an ultimate sense of that on-limit behavior, but as evidenced from the car's 6-minute, 47.3-second lap with the Nürburgring, the all-time production car record after besting the 6:52.01 set by Lamborghini's Huracan Performante, Porsche Motorsport's influence goes past effective and into the 7th circle of devastating. Despite its absence of all-wheel drive but due to its rear engine layout as well as the widest tires ever employed on the factory 911, 325/30 R21 rear, 265/35 R20 front, the GT2 RS suffers no absence of traction, plus the engine's continental shelf of the torque curve means you'll be able to shift early but still pull out of corners stronger than most jobs else for the block. Go on the gas pedal too aggressively, and power oversteer is definitely on tap. Nonetheless, it feels all too easy to control instead of always being for the verge of biting you. Out on public roads, however, is in which the GT2 RS's madness really hits home. On open, empty racetracks, you don't notice outright speed as much because you might expect, but real-world settings employ a way of snapping the large picture into focus. That's why laughter accompanies the sweep utilizing constant radius right-hander, the kind of corner that bores the cheaters in the majority of cars. Here, though, the entry speed is high, but in lieu of protest with including the smallest of wiggles or even an understeering push, the 911 simply digs in and hangs on completely as if its wheels are engrossed in flypaper as an alternative to rubber. Reuninger says he wanted your vehicle to really feel as if a turbo, instead of the industry trend of turbocharged engines that attempt to mimic normally aspirated ones, and whilst the throttle response isn't GT3 sharp, neither would it be laggy in different meaningful way. And when you get up on it, the momentum this Porsche generates inside a straight line, the volume of lateral grip it creates, along with the way it strings together a twisting stretch of road quite literally demand you adjust your entire perceptions high time and distance, about braking points and turn-in speeds, as to what is physically possible. The GT2 seems like it's been gifted the gravity of any black hole, sucking the entire world through the windshield and to your face at approximately warp 9. Hustling at approximately speed is effortless yet breathless and thrilling, because of this that we're hard-pressed to think of any street car experience that trumps this. Maybe a McLaren 720S plays with this league, however the list of eligible contenders is painfully short. This amount of performance brings compromises, certainly, but none should deter customers who drive the GT2 RS every single day. The stiff suspension and its particular mounts, plus the dearth of sound insulation, mean a great deal of road noise infiltrates the cabin, so from time to time you find yourself speaking louder than usual to keep conversations. The low ride height, relatively limited wheel travel, and aggressive shock damping likewise make not for any wholly uncomfortable ride, but don't expect to sense that you're cruising in anything resembling a good tourer. The ride quality is perfectly good enough to get a daily driver. However, it never permits you to forget you're piloting or traveling in something special. Nothing in regards to the 2018 GT2 RS pretends being something it isn't. Reuninger and the team have formulated the most outrageous driver's 911 out of them all. Where the normal Turbo S takes criticism to get too good, too refined, and nowhere near raucous enough, this car addresses those knocks with a factor of 5. Its engine sounds alone, whistling and hissing turbos, deep rumbles and pops around the overrun, tell you immediately it is really an entirely different proposition. Instead of by chance, Reuninger examined a well-used 935 race car to measure its exhaust system, to find out how Porsche could bestow upon this GT2 RS some on the character from the bygone turbo era. Everywhere you turn, this indicates, you discover something like this, something to geek out on. For example, the 1.3-gallon, carbon fiber tank inside the front trunk that holds mineral water used to spray the intercooler. This keeps intake charge temperatures down and engine power at its full potential. On a warm day on the Nürburgring, the stream supply should last about 4 laps, but Porsche doesn't expect drivers to utilize much of it on regular roads. So Reuninger smiles when he checks our tank in the end with the day and finds the lake level has dropped, proving the GT2 RS got a good workout. Okay. That's excellent, great, according to him. We desire to say exactly the same to him with his fantastic team, but somehow that simply doesn't quite cover it. 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS specifications on sale now priced $294,250. Base engine 3.8 liters twin turbo dock 24 valve flat 6 700 horsepower at 7,000 revolutions per minute, 553 pounds-to-feet at 2,500 to 4,500 revolutions per minute. Transmission 7-speed dual clutch automatic layout 2-door, 2-passenger, rear engine, RWD coupe PPA mileage N, A LXW XH 179.1 by 74.0 by 51.1 out of wheelbase 96.6 in weight 3,241 pounds 0 to 60 miles per hour 2.7 seconds top speed 211 miles per hour.